start of the deployment of our official ballot, which commenced the third week of April, I guess.
Na-promise na ninyo, makakapasok sa lahat na accredited at maliwanag na yung guideline. Yung SD cards, is it possible, Director Florida, to reconfigure those SD cards? You did mention in the last hearing of the package that it was only preliminary formatting and that the reconfiguration or configuration was not actually complete. Is that correct? Because we were quite alarmed that only 3 regions are there. Region 4 to Barm are all complete. To what degree are the SPs reconfigured already?
Madam Chair, we will have a technical hub per province. In so for each province, we will have a technical hub. It is not a reconfiguration. Although it is in a sense, it is a reconfiguration, but what we are going to do there is just to copy the configuration for the specific cluster tracing that will be effective on election day.
So can they be reconfigured or not for the viewing of the political parties as well as the NGOs? Kasi natapos na, sabi ninyo eh. So, nabanggit mo na hindi pa rin tapos, hindi tapos na tapos, parang na-format lang pero hindi pa na-upload yung configuration. So, ibig ba sabihin niya, ibabalik ang ninyo o tapos na yan? Nalilito ako eh.
Sorry, Madam Chair, but na-confuse ako doon sa question. I thought it is a technical hub. The ongoing configuration for one of the SD card is already for the 53%. And we are still doing the configuration for the remaining 47%.
Pero once again, yung 53% na SD cards, lahat yan natapos na walang nanawa doon. Only Comelec.
53%. Yes, Madam Chair.
So what are we going to do with those? Can you reconfigure that so that everyone will be transparent and open with each other? Or are you going to allow us random testing of those SD cards? As required by law, diba? There's a level of transparency imposed.
Madam Chair, can I?
Yes, Commissioner Casquero.
Tama po, as reported by the Director Meeting, 50%, 53% already configured. So it is configured with our network configuration group, which is very secure, and we do not allow unauthorized person to enter. So that's also the reason why at the time, and also even now, we are, as much as possible, we are denying access inside the configuration group. Because it's not only the configuration is being done there are also data or information that might be get by an individual that will affect the integrity or the efficacy of our election, like our election. And with regards to that 53%, to again, to have transparency, mas maganda po magkakaroon ng usually ang random and demo regarding this one. Because mayroon na po ganito video natin ulit because it's already inserted in our BCM and ang open the BCM and then get it ulit in the video.
So even running testing is no longer possible, is that correct?
We can do the remaining not yet configured, and then we can do maybe a demo.
Yes, but that's not relevant to the 53% that are already finished. Yung 53% were basically done in the dark as far as the public is concerned. How do we know that the SD cards are okay? Mamaya, kargado yan. Mamaya, may defecto yan. Mamaya, kulang-kulang. Paano ba yun?
Meron po tayong tinatawag na logic accuracy test.
Pero sa inyo lang ng Smartmatic yan eh. Paano yung mga political cards na kayo
Wala po Smartmatic po yun. Hindi lang po yung about that regarding that one.
So random checking is not even possible with regards to the majority of our SD cards. Is that a correct statement?
Pwede po namin pag-usapan sa examples na in-decide on my own sa policy direction. If we can do a random check just like what we did in the Imee and Tito, we will open already ready VCM just like the last time in Santa Rosa, but what is inside the VCM box. If it's possible, we are going to cut the seal and then open it and then have it checked.
Yes, I understand that this is um, a difficult operation, but nevertheless, it is one required by law. You have printed and configured without any witnesses. I don't think that's allowed. I think Attorney Uy had some suggestions technically.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With respect to the remaining SD card configuration, the Santa Rosa warehouse actually secures the memory configuration room in what we call an aquarium. Basically, it's all in the room, it's sealed, nobody is allowed access except authorized personnel of Comelec. So since it's sealed and it has a glass window, I think at the very least, we should be allowed to stay outside the glass window and observe as in all previous elections. In all previous elections, um, the security of those memory configuration area is the same as now, except that in the past, we were allowed to observe it, to observe the aquarium. But this time, even in the aquarium, we are not allowed to go in. There is no way for anybody outside the aquarium to be able to steal any data because it's completely sealed and locked and only Comelec personnel are inside the room. So for the remainder of SD card po, we can do that observation. Secondly po, if we have some doubts on the SD cards that have already been configured and they're already inside the VCMs and we saw that they were already at the tie lock. Perhaps Comelec can release to us what are the precincts, municipalities, and provinces of this 50 plus precincts, so that we know that these were the ones that we did not check. Eventually, after the election, if they correspond to areas where we have the most number of protests, then we can pinpoint exactly what happened. So, because that is not the secret, we need to know what municipalities with precincts are these. Third, on the pre-logic and accuracy test, so that is where you test actually the VCM. So these configured already SD cards will go through a pre-lab. Make that pre-lab publicly accessible so that the observers can also see and observe while they are doing the pre-lab. So it can be done near the observation deck or whatever. So we would know. And since we're trying to make do of what we currently have, no? Because natapos na kami. During the pre-lab, of those 50 plus percent that have already been done, we could probably ask Comelec also to give us a report. How many had problems in the pre-logic and accuracy test? Just publish it on a TV. So that's for all transparency po. And it does not compromise the security at all of the entire system or any part of the system. Thank you po.
Yes, I think that's a good suggestion, and at least you'll be in compliance with the law, complete transparency at every stage of the electoral process. Okay, I think that we need to get from the Comelec a new effort to be transparent, because certainly the excuse of COVID is not one that can be utilized in this case. I'm also a little bit alarmed by the complaint by Helen Avila Flores of the PPCRP regarding that there was no definite denial. Instead, panay lang ang postpone yun. Totoo ba yun? Panay lang ang postpone ng observation. Sana hindi na maulit. Okay, so we have your promise that this is not going to occur, that we will conduct consultations as soon as possible with the concerned political parties and the small party groups, and that you will take into consideration all the suggestions that have been aired in this hearing. Sana nga, itong in secret na mga nangyayari hindi na maulit. Last na lang po yung digital signature. It has been suggested that the digital signatures be put in place at every stage and in every electoral election return. As early as 2019, Comelec promised na magkakaroon ng digital signature. At maliwanag na yung DepEd, tunay na nag-effort, 360,000 teachers, nag-input ng digital signature. Ngayon, dahil sa kakulangan ng tablet, dahil sa iBallot, sinasabi ng Comelec, wala na ng digital signature. Wala ba tayong magawa dyan? It's been suggested that you don't need to use the iBallot or the cable, you can go directly into the BCM. It's also been suggested that you undertake alternative modes of procurement rather than three failed biddings that have been the excuse so far.
Yes, Madam Chair, as promised, we will provide you these documents, all of our efforts regarding the implementation of digital signature. Tama po, kayo, Madam Chair, yung nagpumilit talaga sa ESMAC to implement this digital signature. And it was even deferred to the bank. But na-approve po yung digital signature. So, nandito po lahat yung report namin. We have
Paano ba yung mga public yan? So, 200 lang naman public.
mahal po yung nagkaroon po kami ng in the budgeting, sinama ko na po yung digital signature even without the approval of the bank. Pero I put already an item for digital signatures in anticipation na talaga magkaroon tayo ng digital signature because I myself believe na kailangan talaga natin ng
So,
digital.
wala akong magagawa dyan. The ICT, our IT people, kailangan palawakin yung digital signature. Pinahirapan na natin yung DepEd na mag-input ng kanilang signature. Pinaasa na natin ang taong bayan mula pa ng 2019. Pagkatapos ngayon, ang sasabihin, pilot na naman sa Manila, Cebu at Davao lamang. Alam naman natin ang pandarayan, ang nangyayari sa remote, sa mga isla, sa mundo. Wala ba tayong paraan na matupad yung pangako?
Yun ang ang Madam Chair, gusto rin na namin that we cannot find the supplier of the iPhone. We even increase twice yung natin the BCM. And then, according to the BCM, we only have one supplier and for that iPhone which is coming from the US.
Did you consider the suggestion of Attorney Uy, as well as the other IT experts, Attorney Yuko, the rest, Alex Ramos, na huwag na mag-iBoton, i-direction na sa BCM?
Yun din po ang tinignan namin if we can use the 1,000 para USD instead of using the rest of the USD because the USD for the BCM is only for transmission. It cannot receive data. So, nagkaroon tayo ng problema doon. And if ever also, it will also allow, we have to reconfigure the hardware itself. And it's not impossible, we have to reconfigure the hardware. But then again, the danger of that is during election, baka may pasok doon. So, we also protect also any information coming from outside using such, parang USD iPhone. And another option is to have it stored in the BCN itself or initially. But then again, time constraint. Yung ating mga electoral board, makakonstitute siya by January and then magkakaroon ng training, magkakaroon pa ng resulting. If we put their digital certificate ahead of the training, baka during election, iba na yung mag-serve. So magkakapunta tayo sa election natin during the election. So those are considered naman sa election. Then again, kung talaga namin tayo nakaproblema sa procurement, kasi talagang walang magsusupply ng ano. So what we did is, para hindi naman siya magkaroon na between the wasted or preparation, nalungkat namin, in-inventory namin lahat ng mga possible iphotos that can be used in digital signature. So that is why, ang nangyari is we were able to inventory about 106,000 more than that iphotos that can be used for digital signature. But that is not sufficient for the 330 plus thousands electoral board. So that is why, ang ginawa na lang namin is we do the pilot, or not a pilot, but a selected area for the digital signature.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Castelo. But we enjoy you still to try to put in place the safeguards that were recommended in the past. Otherwise, we have yet another election. We still speak of digital signature. Ang tagal na pinag-uusapan, hindi pa rin nagagawa. So, sana magawa naman natin yan. And yes, you wanted to add
One
one.
last point for the security of the transmission. The digital signature, we have three layers or 2 layers already on that machine. The first layer is the digital signature of the machine itself. The second is the digital signature of the iPhone for operation, which the teacher will also input it. And sana yung pangatlo, the third layer will be the self-digital signature or certificate ng teacher himself or herself. So, doon lang po tayo sa pangatlo ang medyo napag-problema tayo. Kasi hindi talaga tayo makapag-secure. But for the first and the second is in the system. So, dalawa na po yung layer natin for the security of the transition.
Thank you very much. Please update us. These are all matters of utmost interest to the public, and we don't have very much time. We also have three brand new commissioners, including the chairman. So we need to ratchet up our efforts. At this juncture, the Senate President of the manifestation and motion today.
Yes, thank you. In the light of the issue of transparency, so that the people of the public knows about what has really transpired. One consultation, I mean, in terms of the chairperson, I know that we authorize committee that the authorized committee to divulge points in the proceedings during the executive session earlier. Of course, limited to or except the names and persons of the persons are mentioned because they are still pending investigation. But perhaps the what really transpired as far as the Comelec response party is concerned, I hope that the committee be authorized to divulge the public.
Madam Chair, I second the motion, and I understand it's full meeting.
Yes, thank you very much for the motion. And hearing no objection, to be seconded by Senator Pimentel to pass this motion, and the committee at the earliest juncture shall issue a report exercising prudence so that no ongoing investigation shall in any way be compromised. Thank you very much. I think if there are no other comments, yes, Sir.
Madam Chair, I apologize for interrupting again. The IT experts, as well as the watchdogs, have repeatedly requested this from Comelec, and we'd like to reiterate again since we have the new commissioners here also. There are several suggestions, and one of those is that if there are any serious incidents on election day, for instance, there's a malfunction of the SD card or malfunction of the PCM, and there is intervention by Comelec to reformat, to rechange, to restart. A serious intervention, not just it's a simple case of a paper jam, but intervention where an SD card has to be pulled out and to be replaced. Would the Comelec be willing to put in the general instructions that if these incidents occur, that there will be no transmission unless there is an actual physical count of the ballots. When it is validated, that's the time transmission is allowed. In 2019, I think there were about 1,000 BCMs that had that problem, where the SD cards were reconfigured. This is to remove all doubts from the public that there was any SD card switching or reloading. Because if we do that, it will be an assurance that whatever is preloaded allegedly, will be validated by the actual ballots inside the ballot box on election day. So just delay that transmission until there's a physical count. This is basically almost like a hybrid. Actual physical count before the transmission. I don't think it will affect the entire election because based on last election, about 1,000 PCMs are naman ang affected. So we're looking at that figure. Thank you very much.
In the intermission of Honorable Chair.
Yes,
You
you're
will seriously consider the suggestion, that's a very good suggestion. We'll discuss that definitely as part of the effort to ensure transparency. And likewise, Your Honors, we would likewise also seriously consider the suggestions of Attorney Ivan as far as the random testing of the VCM as well as the trustee cards previously configured are concerned, and likewise the presence of watchers, observers, and IT experts in the fund. We will definitely, under the new leadership, we will definitely consider your suggestion. Thank you very much.
okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate the Comelec's cooperation. And with that, I think there are no further comments. We have our work cut out for us indeed, both in the Comelec as well as the DICC, the DICC, NDC, NEI, the IT experts, as well as the senators and the Committee on Electoral Reform, and people's participation in the Senate. Thank you very much. This hearing is suspended. Thank you.